Hey guys, welcome back to CCG. It's me, Carlos, and Tony, and we're going to be going over Tony's Red Ruthless Turles that placed top 16 at the our ARG event in Hollywood, Florida, the South. So tell us about it, Tony.
Well, it's basically any other Red Ruthless deck that you would see. Of course, you have the Mastery and then the basic Turles stack. There's nothing really special about it. It's just maybe the way I play it. We'll get to that in a minute. Starting with the Red Ruthless Mastery, it allows me, if I banish, it allows me to get an extra pump on the board at all times. A +2 stages, going with my Red Turles. My Turles +2 stages on all attacks, and unpreventable damage is a +4 on any attack that I do. Unpreventable, it's just great. And then with the added power of playing an extra card from my discard pile is nothing short of magical. Moving on from there, we have our two setups, which would be Red Premonition. If I were to get thrown up by a clash or just leveled up, and in general, I could use Red Premonition as a setup to lower myself 1 MP level and lower my opponent at 1 MP level as well. 9 times out of 10 though, I would use it together with my Mastery to banish it so that I can search out my Omni Block or an Observation and then use the top card of my discard pile as another attack. After that, we have my drills. First, we got Red Despair Drill. Just adds more modifiers to my cards. Adds +1 life card to all my attacks equal to my anger. With Unpreventable, it just stacks a lot of damage. Next, we have Hunting Drill. Whenever I get a crit, I'm allowed to search my opponent's deck for 1 card and destroy it. It just really shuts down time or anything that my opponent really needs really early on in the game. Then we have Red Forward Stance Drill is a way that I use to manipulate my anger. So I lower my anger to stop an energy or physical attack. So it's a great block. It's always a threat on the board, and it always allows me to manipulate my anger. Finally, we have Intimidation Drill, which is just anytime I crit, I draw. With all the pluses and the unpreventable damage, it's really not that hard to get a crit if you could just land it. So you just keep exploiting combat throughout the turn. Next, we have our events. We have Time and 2 Stare Downs, pretty staple cards that you need in any villain deck, or Time with any deck in general. Then we have the 3 Stops, which is a great way to get your drills back from your discard pile or banish zone, because eventually someone's going to get rid of them. You just lower your anger, which is another anger manipulation that you have in this deck, to bring it back whatever they got rid of, and just makes people really mad. And finally, we have Red Observation for the orange decks, for the decks that like to sit and just stock up on setups or allies or anything like that. It's just a great way to just stop all that stuff from happening. And with all the modifiers, you don't really mind being at 0 stages. And yeah. Moving on, we have our 3 energy blocks. Endurance 2. In this deck, I like to stack Endurance because Lord knows that Red needed it. So after 5 sets, I finally had enough Endurance to keep myself going and protect myself from other hits, and also raises my anger and stops an energy attack. Then for the energy attacks, we have 2 left bolts. Allows me to take any card that I put to the bottom to add it to hand, and then if I can use it with Mastery, so I can just filter the same cards I had in my hand if I so choose to. And also is an energy attack, people don't really see them coming. Then we played 2 Energy Blast, which gets rid of drills or allies that you need to get rid of. And then with the Mastery, you get rid of 2 of them. And you could just really just turn into an energy combat deck for one turn if you want to. Then finally, we have the best energy we have here. We have Combined Blast, Raise My Anger 1, Endurance 3. Then raise my anger and lower my anger 3 to stop my opponents from playing events. It shuts down a lot of things like time, any omni block, hybrid defense, any events that they can be played. It's just going to be great. Moving on to the physicals. First, we go coming out with 3 collision. I think that you have to play this card with the Ruthless Mastery. It just benefits off of any position that you have it in. Then we have 2 Power Lift. It's a great way to stop physical decks, and then you can also double it with your Mastery to stop 2 physicals off of 1 card. Then we have our Drill Engine. This is going to be 2 Power Lift, Endurance 2, which is nice. And then if it hits, I get to search my life deck for any style drill I have and place it into play. And then the best card for the drills.
The season starts early.
Oh, yeah. Then we have Right Punch, which is the best way to get any of your drills. As an immediate effect, you can search your life deck for as many drills as your anger. So off of 1 card, before your opponent can say anything, you can get out all 4 of your drills, and they just sit there and take it. And then with AT plus 4 with Mastery and Turles, and plus 4 again, 4 life cards with Despair Drill, it becomes pretty devastating. Then we have 2 Stomach Dive. This is probably the best way that I manipulate my anger. Off of any attack that I have, I can just lower it before I raise it, my anger, so that I can add plus 2 life cards and just keep myself on 1. Then we have 2 Chest Pierce. Mainly I put this card in for 18 matchups because with such low power stages, you need to have some flat stages in your deck. Besides that, it's actually a really good card. When you hit, you banish all non-styled cards out of both of your discard piles. Since you only play 3, you don't really care, but your opponent probably plays a lot more, and they care a lot, especially if they are Android 18 with all their named cards and such. Then we have Chop is another card put in there for Androids, for Android 18. 3+X is my stages, but also if you're not playing 18, it actually serves a really good purpose if you can get a combo off with Despair Drill and just raise yourself to 4 anger, putting that at 3 plus 4 stages is 7, plus 4 more with your Mastery and Turles is going to be 11 stages, and then plus 4 life cards with Despair Drill, it's going to be 15 stages in total if they're at 0. And it's pretty amazing to see it go off. Then we have our Banish Outlet. We got Red Vaulted Kick, AT plus 3, raise by your anger, and then if it hits, I get to banish usually 3 cards out of my opponent's discard pile. Then we got 3 Sword Stabs, which is a great card. It's pretty vanilla, but it's just got everything you need. It's got 3 endurance, it raises your anger, and it's AT plus 4. There's nothing wrong with this card. And then we have the Heel Kicks. The Heel Kick is our way to bring back the Shattering Leaps, the double strikes, or really anything you need at any given moment, as long as you have 1 anger. Another way to manipulate your anger, and just huge combo pieces with the cards you will see ahead. Here we go. We have 3 Shattering Leaps. AT plus 4. If it hits, I get to do it twice, so it's going to be AT plus 8 at least every single time I hit. And then with the Heel Kick that we said before, you can use it up to 6 times if you have to. Then we got another combo piece. We got double strike. The anger that you gain off of this card could sometimes be a problem if you don't have any anger manipulation in your deck, but usually if you have something out like the forward stance drill or the stomach dive out, it really doesn't matter. It's just going to help you. And also using it 4 times with your mastery, and it just makes people sad. It really just does. And we have Shoulder Grab. This is just a staple in any red deck that you play, and especially when you're playing things like Cell or Namekian and Piccolo, you definitely want to get those crits off and take their Dragon Balls so that they can't use their Dragon Balls and just use them against them. And then finally, we have our Red Resourceful block, Endurance 3. And if I am at level 2, I'm able to go back down to 1 for the combat and then go back up to 2 at the end. Most of the time, you will see this used just for endurance. That 4-card endurance is really strong, and pitch for your mastery. Well, that's pretty much the deck and everything that goes along with it.
All right. Is there anything so far after the ARG that you would think maybe about changing, or are you really just waiting until Vengeance?
If I could go back and I could add some cards, I would probably switch out the Resourceful block for the red catches, so that it's still got 2 endurance, which is really, really good, and then it's another banish outlet, so I can banish as many cards as I have anger from my opponent's discard pile, so it allows me to get things that they need before they can really touch it. Other than that, I think Forceful Strike would have been a great addition to my deck, so that I can get rid of drills, setups of drills if it hits, or when I when I use it with my mastery, just get a setup a drill right away, and if it hits, I get a 3rd one. So that's probably a really good one. Also, another card that I would add would be Freezing Beam. Probably take out the left bolt for Freezing Beam. It's another attack. It's an energy attack that hits for stages, which is always great. And then it allows me to tutor out. A drill from my banish zone or my discard pile. So it's just another way to get back your drills, and it's got endurance on it.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks for sharing your deck, Tony. Once again, this is Carlos and Tony, both from Casual Card Gaming, and we'll see you next time on CCG.